Hi everyone, welcome to the GitLab Runner 14.1 Kickoff video. I'm Darren Eastman, Product Manager for GitLab Runner. So today I'll cover a few of the key features and capabilities that we're working to deliver in GitLab Runner 14.1. Starting first with a Runner core category, which is basically the distribution of GitLab Runner to run a core application, binary, and so on that is able to run on multiple platforms and computer architectures. So in 14.1 you'll notice there are a couple of features here, starting at the top of the list, that we had planned to ship in 14.0, but unfortunately we have not completed those features, and so our plan now is to get those wrapped up in 14.1. The first feature in question is adding support for Windows build pods in the Kubernetes executor. As I mentioned, I spoke about this the last time, which is basically this feature is adding those capability that's not currently there in Kubernetes, which is i.e. the support for Windows build pods, and adding that into the Kubernetes executor. Next up, in terms of capabilities related to Windows that we're working to deliver in 14.1, is adding support for Windows Server Core, version 20H2, the semi-annual trial release. We had really hoped to get this wrapped up in 14.0. The merge request is pretty much ready to go, but we had some last reviews pending on it, and so we'll wrap those reviews up and get it shipped to you in 14.1. The next feature capability I want to draw your attention to that we're working on in 14.1 is the variable inside other variable feature. If you recall, I've been speaking about this for quite some time now because we've been doing this work over the past few months and making iterative changes towards getting this one wrapped up. Okay, where we're at today is that the capabilities in place, we currently have it behind a feature flag on GitLab.com. So our goal and our idea is that we'll continue to do some additional testing on GitLab.com in 14.1, wrap up any additional issues or sort of like minor tweaks that need to be done, and get this feature finally shipped and out of the door. With this feature delivered and available, if you recall, the value proposition is that as a user of GitLab CI, you'll be able to define a variable within your GitLab YAML file, and then later on within the same file, reuse that variable that you've defined. And so that's why it's called a variable inside of a variable. The ability for you to define a variable within the pipeline file, and then call that variable later on. So again, simplifying your use of GitLab, the GitLab pipelines, and making that a little bit more powerful for you in terms of what you might be looking to do in regards to declaring variables and reusing them. So again, we're doing some work wrapping this one up and hope to get this buttoned up and out the door for you in 14.1. The other interesting capability that we're working on for Runner Core in 14.1, I'll call your attention to this here in a sec, is related to pod cleanup. If you are one of our users or customers that rely on the Kubernetes executor, you'll notice that we have a couple of issues in our backlog related to pod cleanup. This was one of them, and there's actually another one here as well that's linked to this issue, where we talk about challenges with old runner pods hanging around, and that may eventually block new pods from starting. So what we did, I believe it was 13.1 or 13.2, let me pop over and take a quick look at that so you can follow along with me, is that we spent some time, one of our engineers, Georgie spent some time specifically taking a closer look at this problem space and defining an iterative plan by which we can come up with a solution that's workable. So you can see the work that was done here, and what we're doing in 14.1 is implementing the first iteration of that plan, and then in 14.2 we'll follow along with the second iteration. So the first iteration of our plan is what we're working on in 14.1 and what we hope to ship, which is basically adding this garbage collection functionality of Kubernetes so that we can take care of making sure that resources are left over are actually cleaned up. And then you see in the second stage, we're doing some additional work to make this even a little bit more resilient. And so with those two iterative steps in place, we hope to really have a good handle and solve this problem of cleaning up pods after resource execution after execution of a job is complete. And so in 14.1 you'll see the first step here related to that. So again, if you've been following along over the past couple of releases, and especially the Kubernetes executives one that you use, you'd have noticed that there have been a lot of incremental features being added and capabilities and bugs being resolved around Kubernetes. So I just want to call that out, that we continue to do a lot of investment, a lot of work on the Kubernetes executor and all things Kubernetes for the runner. So this is coming again, just to wrap up in 14.1. The last issue that seems interesting to talk about in terms of 14.1 is this one here, in terms of specifically Runner Core, And this is around features that's really impacting our use of the runners on GitLab SaaS and supporting our customers on GitLab SaaS or GitLab.com that rely on that shared runner fleet. And what's happening right now is that in certain cases, a Docker image pull might result in a system failure, thereby triggering a service level indicator error for us, right? And resulting in errors and sometimes alerts to our SRE teams. So this Docker image pull system failure is in some scenarios a valid system failure, but in other scenarios it's not. And so we want to kind of implement this in such a way so that it's no longer resulting and impacting our SLI and no longer resulting in errant alerts being raised. And so we're working on that as well, and we'll get it wrapped up and will impact in a positive way the experience for our SRE team and experience on GitLab SaaS runners. So those are the key things that we've got in store on deck for core GitLab application, if you will, for 14.1. And switching gears to Runner Cloud, i.e. again, the GitLab runners, this GitLab SaaS shared runners on GitLab.com. That's a bit of a mouthful, I know. So we're continuing our investment, as you can see in the first line item here, in ensuring that we have a continued focus release after release on improving the stability and the reliability and the scalability of the GitLab.com runner fleet. And so we'll continue that investment, and you're slowly starting to see the impact of that investment in improved SLO scores. We're going to talk a bit more about it in the future, kickoff videos and in future direction page updates. We'll continue to add more details around that. So that investment is continuing in 14.1. The other bit, new features and capabilities that are coming in 14.1, and we talked about this in 14.0 where we had to delay it, is that in 14.1 we finally hope to open up to a larger customer and user base the Mac OS build cloud runners on GitLab SaaS. We currently have a number of customers and organizations using the Mac OS build cloud runners in the closed beta time scenario. We've been doing that for some time now. Our goal in 14.1 will be to open up the aperture so that more folks, more customers, more users can start testing it out and give us feedback, and so that we can iterate towards moving this offering to GA. So you'll see more announcements along this as we get close to 14.1, but we're super excited about finally offering you an integrated experience within the GitLab single DevOps platform and GitLab SaaS, such that you can very seamlessly build your applications for all platforms and environments if you're a GitLab SaaS customer or user. And finally, in the Runner Enterprise Management UI and User Experience category, there's tons of great work happening here by our front-end engineer and front-end design lead team. Couple of pieces of foundational work that we had been working on in 14.0 continues in 14.1. I'll just kind of speak that really briefly. Is that so the first thing that we want to do in the GitLab UI as relates to runners is ensure that we have the foundation so that we can actually deliver to you a first-class enterprise management experience for runners at scale. And so part of that work, as I mentioned in 14.0, is that the current admin views that are in GitLab UI use our legacy front-end framework, i.e. Haml, and we've been migrating those views and the underlying technology to Vue. Some of that work's already done. We have some wrap-up work to do in 14.1. That's what you're seeing here, with admin list view being migrated from Haml to Vue, admin runner detail views being migrated from Haml to Vue. So that's going to wrap up in 14.1. There's some other work as well being planned. So again, when that foundational work is in, you'll see us in subsequent release talk a bit more now in terms of new features and capabilities around the management experience, both for the admin level and then also for the group level. And the group level is, of course, very important for our customers that rely on GitLab SaaS. So we need to cover both scenarios and both use cases. Of course, our self-managed customers as well as our customers that are relying on GitLab SaaS, so that's key for us. But having this foundation in place covers both tracks, and so once we get that done, we'll be able to accelerate incrementally adding new features going forward. And then finally, in 14.1, there's other work being planned or other work that's underway in terms of making runners within projects and groups visible in first-class citizens. This is a feature that's been around for a while. And initially we had planned on coming to it later on after we had made some more traction on the admin and group views, but we decided to go ahead and start making some traction now. So for users that typically interface with runners at the project level or the group level. That user experience needs to be refined a bit. And so the goal of this effort will be to continue to refine a user experience. And so we're starting that effort in 14.1. So you'll see some more mock-ups around this. You'll see some more design iterations around that first-class experience in terms of the runners in the group and the user view. And so that's kind of a lot, actually, I think, for 14.1, especially coming after a major release. But at GitLab, we try to be aggressive in terms of our planning, and so we're trying to get a lot of stuff done for you here in Runner Core in 14.1, as well as in Runner Cloud. And again, and a lot of stuff, foundational stuff around the Runner Enterprise Management UI and user experience space. And I really want to just give a quick nod out to the front-end engineering team, Miguel Rincon, as well as our front-end design manager, Hannah Verissimo, because they've been driving this effort, and it will pay dividends in future release milestones, because we'll be able to truly accelerate our vision in terms of improving usability and really delivering a first-class experience for this important area in terms of your use of GitLab CI, which is how you interface and use and manage GitLab runners. All right, so that's it for the 14.1 Kickoff video. As always, if you have any questions about a feature or capability on this list, or a feature and capability or bug that's currently sitting in one of our many GitLab Runner backlogs, feel free to, as always, ping me directly on it, Darren Eastman. It's my GitLab tag. We're trying to give you an answer in terms of what we're thinking in regards to prioritization and how quickly we can get around to it, or what our current thoughts are. So I'm always here open for you. Feel free to ping me on anything. I'll answer questions as quickly as possible. So that's it for 14.1, and look forward to chatting with you next time as we do the 14.2 Kickoff video. Cheers, and have a great day wherever in the world you are.